Welcome to Insightful Minds. It's your boy Zayon. We back with another one, man. Today, I got a good brother here, man, he does a lot, and when I say he does a lot, man, he's an entrepreneur, he's a pastor. At the age of 26, he's showing that if he can do it, you can do it. I got my good brother Dashon. How you doing, my brother?
Hello, brother. How you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm blessed. How are you doing emotionally, physically, and spiritually?
I'm doing well, man. It's been a little busy for me, but I'm doing pretty good. My 2024 is kicking off pretty well, and I can honestly say I'm doing great. I can honestly say that. How about yourself?
Hey, I'm blessed, man. I'm glad you reciprocated that. Asked me how am I doing, because just, as a businessman, how it can be sometimes. You get so caught up in your business and your ventures that you forget, to put that me time in.
Absolutely.
Now, one thing I love about you is, you got your feet and your hands in different things. It's not just one lane, but I see you got a lot going on for yourself. Yeah. So, we're going to start it off with, you're a pastor. Was that something you grew up in a household where it was more of a religious household growing up as a child, or?
That's a good question. And that's honestly, everyone asks me, like, how did you become and get into, ministry and church and all of that stuff? Well, no, my house, my grandmother always went to church. Okay. My mom, we did attend church periodically, but when you think of, you would think we was like, big in the church, went every Sunday. But it was when I would say probably maybe as soon as I graduated high school, I really began to get closer with God and really, always knew God, always knew He was real and all of that. And like I said, I did attend church, but I got drawn closer. I joined the local church and began to serve there and got on their leadership team. And I felt the call. I've always been like a speaker by nature, always been, charismatic, always been one of those ones that can, speak to a crowd. But I'm just really taking God, allowed me to take the gift that I already had and just use it for His purpose. You know what I mean? Nice. And so, I was on the leadership at a church there, served there, great ministry. And then I was released to another church to help them out in their new church. So I'm on staff there as their campus pastor. So I've been serving. You got to serve your way up. So it's been great, man. I do a lot at that ministry, the new ministry I'm at now, where I'm helping there. So it's a new ministry. They're still in the high school now. It's called Glee Church. It's in Bowie, Maryland. You guys can check it out.
Check out Glee Church, guys.
Glee Church in Bowie, Maryland. So it's a small church that just started last year. Well, they just relaunching last year. And so they're inside of Northview Elementary School. And so I preach there twice a month, so every other Sunday I'm speaking. There's also a lead pastor as well that speaks. I help with some of the, the church operations and the community engagement and all of that. But I also do have a outreach ministry, which is Brave City, DC.
I like that.
So that's that's my own movement that we do every last Tuesday. We have a service in Camp Spring, Maryland. So similar to a church setup, we have the praise and worship. We have prayer. I do a preach word or talk word. So similar to a service. It's really, honestly, it's a service too. We just don't meet every Sunday.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. So, that's kind of how my ministry journey go. It's been great. We started Brave City right after the pandemic, towards the end of 2021. So we're going on about 3.5 years, 3 years and some change names. And man, I've seen it all. It's been blessed. People's lives have been transformed. People have drawn closer to God. And that's our mission.
Now, I love how you said you was able to change people's lives. I always tell people, that's the overall gift that God wants you to give, to change someone's life, because what He's doing for you, He's changing your life.
Absolutely.
So, besides that, and I see, like you said, you're a pastor, what's the forward goal with your ministry?
Good question. So definitely Brave City. I see that as having hubs all over the country. So that's Brave City, DC, but I even see Brave City, Baltimore, Brave City, New York, Brave City, LA, Brave City, Atlanta. So my goal is to pop up these Brave City hubs in different cities. And just, grow people closer to God, and not just bring them in Christ. It's one thing to have a person get saved, that's, had them say the sinner's prayer and all of that. But there's another thing to actually teach people how to grow closer to God, teaching them the principles. So that's our goal. We're like a principle-based ministry because I know a whole lot of people, there's a lot of broke Christians. There's a lot of Christians that's not living in God's best. There's a lot of Christians that's not healed. Their body ain't, and God said that we should be healed. Healing is the children's bread. So, but there's some principles that got to be put in place for you to see that manifestation. So if you don't know, you just getting on your knees and crying, oh God, do it, heal my body, heal cancer, heal my grandmother. No, there's principles, there's what we call biblical protocols. So there's stuff that the believer has to do to get the result. But what's happening is a lot of people don't know the principle at all. We grew up, we go to like the churches where they fall out and all that, but they cursing each other in the parking lot. You know what I mean? So one way to teach people the principles of God, not just get you in the kingdom, but teach you the principles of the kingdom so you can grow and go up.
Got you.
Yeah.
Now, I like how you said, it's principles. Because I always tell people, with life come principles,
Absolutely.
And that's one thing you have to understand with life in general.
Absolutely.
That it's principles that come with it. And if you disobey those principles, God will let you know when you're disobeying them principles. So,
Absolutely.
At the age of 26, was there ever a time where you questioned God?
I ain't gonna honestly say question him. There's our time, I think we all in our Christian walk, we all have, challenging moments. Not saying that I'm exempt from any attack, because the Bible even tells us, we're not exempt from the attacks of the enemy. So, matter of fact, because you are a believer, now makes you a candidate for attacks of the enemy. So, like, just because you a pastor or you go to church or you're trying to get your life together, now the attacks are going to intensify because now, the devil even mad. He don't got you no more. So, I ain't gonna really say question God, but there's been moments where I'm just like, you get discouraged. Honestly, we all get discouraged at moments, and I think I've seen too much supernatural stuff take place for me to like question them. I think I done grown to a point where you done did it too many times. You too good. Like you get to a point like definitely you too good. We locked in. I done seen you. It's been times in years ago where I didn't have $1 in my pocket. And I got on my knee, and somebody supernaturally called me like, look, the Lord told me to give you 50, like stuff.
That says I'm for
when
real.
When you have I think when you have an encounter, and it's God, it's like it's supernatural. You know what I mean? So I think my encounters and my experiences with Him kind of got me out of that. But definitely moments where warfare and challenging come. I do have. We all have discouraging moments, times where you just like, get upset. But, I get on my knees and I ask God, but I can't, I trust you when I can't trace you.
Yes. And, I definitely agree with that because, once again, I'm a living testimony. And I always tell people that because I overcame a left shoulder surgery, right shoulder surgery, broken elbow, had to get my appendix removed, suicidal depression. I lost my dad. Beginning of this year, I had orbital cellulitis, but I had to get surgery on. And I thank God that He just has me still in His arms because I still look good for my age. People still say you look young. And I'm just like, without God, none of this would be possible.
Absolutely.
None of this would be possible.
Absolutely.
So I know you big on prayer, you big on faith. What's one thing that you always have gratitude for?
What do you mean, just like in life or just like in ministry?
In general.
I'm grateful for I'm grateful for a lot, honestly, but if I can narrow it down to one, I'm grateful for God just being able to use me. I'm thankful that God chose me. I'm thankful that that God is just not getting stuff to me, but I'm allowing God to get stuff through me. And I think that's one of my biggest things that I'm grateful for, that I can be a conduit or a channel to get other people blessed. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, God, if you keep sending it my way, I promise to advance your kingdom. I promise to bless others. I promise to share what you share with me. So I'm thankful that God has got me in like a conduit system. So everything I got ain't even for me, honestly. It's, of course God looks out for you in the meantime. He's gonna make sure He gonna let the person lack. You know what I mean? But I'm thankful that I'm able to be a blessing to others, man.
And I always, even my sister, I tell her, your blessings don't come to you; they flow through you. You
Absolutely.
know what I'm saying? And when you see how much of a blessing you are, everybody who you come around, you already blessing. You know what I'm saying? Your presence is a blessing alone. You know,
all alone, absolutely.
You know, so we let's shift over because I hear you. Like I said, you got so much you do.
Right.
You know, and once again, I have to reiterate to our audience, you're only 26 doing this, you know? At 26, most of us are still making mistakes.
Absolutely. And I'm on, let me make a disclaimer. I'm not perfect at all. Like, I still have things that I got to work on. There's things that, you know, God is working on me and, you know, things that I need to do better. So, absolutely not perfect, but I'm working towards it. I'm working towards being the best of me. You know, no one's perfect, honestly. The Bible even talks about that. But my goal is to, you know, just try to be a better me every day, man. Yes. That's all I could do.
Because you know, one thing I say about my podcast is, you know, we're here to show people that there's no such thing as perfection, but if you're trying to become perfect, it translates to progress.
Absolutely.
And as long as you're progressing in life and you're making that change that you know you need, that's all anybody can appreciate. You know, and you just being you. You know, and I always tell also my sister, you know, because that's my little sister. I have to guide her so she won't make the same mistakes I make. You know, the only perception that matters is perception you have of yourself. You know, because when you wake up, you got your wife, your husband, your boss, you know, your daughter, your son. Everybody gonna have a different perception of you. But when you look in the mirror, the only perception that matters is how you perceive yourself. You know,
that's good. That's good.
So now that's because, like I say, you do a lot. So now let's kick off. I see the shirt you have. You know, that's your business right there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's called Clowning Around. So how did that come about?
Good question. So when I first started years ago, I was working. I actually started. I started this company actually in high school when I was in. Was it 10th, 11th? I think it was like 10th going into 11th grade. Yeah, so I was working under another company, similar to it. Nice lady, awesome lady. I was working under her, and my mom, she's like, "Man, you're really good at this. Like, you're amazing. Like, you should really try to like do this." And so I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna do it." So my mom made the initial investment, and I started the company, and literally, like, this crazy part. Let me show you how good God is. My very first customer was a church.
Wow.
Yep, they did a Halloween festival, and many of you may know his name is Pastor Tony Lee. He's in Iverson Mall. You might have heard of Tony Lee. Iverson Mall, and we did their Halloween festival. We did that, and literally from there, bro, it literally skyrocketed. Like, the phone was ringing, got calls, we was getting booked left and right, and that was in 2014, and then maybe like a couple months later, literally, daggone near my whole class. 11th grade was working for me, literally. Like, my mom's basement turned into like a training center. Like, after school, we was down there. I'm training them. I got a group of people over here teaching them face paint. I mean, we was doing we had major contracts back then. Like, Nordstrom's was booking us, Bob Evans restaurants. We had contracts with a couple McDonald's locations, Chick-fil-A. Like, we were like literally high schoolers. And I'm teaching them how to paint. I'm teaching them how to do balloons. I'm teaching how to host. Like, I'm literally, my whole basement was a whole training center. And so, where I am now, people don't know what we was doing back then.
For real. Like, and she's at 10th and 11th grade. Half of us wasn't even thinking about a business. We were still trying to figure out life. Right. Like, we were trying to figure out how we gonna graduate, you know. But you was like you was already 2 steps ahead of yourself. And I love that about you because now you're inspiring me to, if he can do it, anybody can out here, you know? Like, so, Clowning Around, who was your influence? Because I hear you say your mom.
Yeah, so my mom definitely was the one that kicked me off, helped, support me financially with everything needed to kick it off. My grandmother also was a big support. Bro, my grandmother actually was an entrepreneur as well. She owned a few hair salons. So, just watching her, how she grind and, managed that and all of that. She had a few locations with that. And God, man. And God. And I think it's one of those ones, it's kind of was already in me, my mom even said when I was young, like, we already knew you was gonna be something
Yeah,
because you just it was in me. So I think just exercising was already in you, man. Really, yeah.
It's like your elders already see, and they already see what your future is set up. From when you get to that 10th or 11th, they already see. Okay, it's either you gonna be in trouble or you gonna be doing something with your life. Now, let me ask you this. Now with clowning around, what was that point that you said, "Oh, now I'm definitely getting somewhere with this"?
So I think when it was time for me to graduate, graduate high school. You remember I started around 10th.
Okay.
When I got to high school, was about to graduate that year, my mom's like, "So you gonna go to college or like what you gonna do?" And I'm like, I don't. Something in me was like, I wanted to go, but then a part of me was like, I think this you on to something with this. I think if I leave this, I wouldn't be able to grow it to what it is today.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to grow it. So I'm honestly grateful I didn't leave it. You know what I mean?
Facts.
I'm honestly grateful. But yeah, I think it was that once I got to high school and it started becoming consistent and like we literally had people coming back, like it was a consistent clientele. And at that point, I'm like, all right, I can take this to the next level now. Like this is, it's a real deal. Like this, it's not a one hit wonder. This ain't no, you know what I mean? This is like official. Yeah.
Now, who was your age group? Because my sister works for you. And she found this job and she's still in school. Yeah. Are you guys hiring for the high schoolers that are still out there?
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting ready to get back into our busy season, which is this summer and spring. So yeah, definitely high schoolers, college, great weekend work. Also, we work on weekdays periodically as well. So yeah, they can go to our website at clowningaround.com and fill out the employment. Go to employment page and just fill out a questionnaire submission form, and I'll get back to you via email. But yeah, definitely we'll always look for fresh talent. Always.
Now, she also told me you was on Good Morning America.
Yes. Now, Good Morning Fox. Yep.
Okay, Good Morning Fox.
Good Morning Fox. Yeah. So yeah, I was actually, we've done a few media outlets. Actually, your sister was on one of the segments.
I seen her. She was real precious.
She was on one of our segments as well. So, we were supposed to be on there this last Tuesday that just came up. But of course, if you know anything about media and the news, there was a breaking news where 3 officers were shot. So with that, in the news, all segments are canceled like that. Whenever it's like a natural disaster, a big shooting or something where it's called when they consider it breaking news. They shut the whole newsroom down. Everything is focused on that. And so, unfortunately, due to the breaking news, they rescheduled us to this Monday. So we'll be on air on Fox this Monday, February the 19th at 9:30 a.m.
Make sure you guys check that out. Check them out, man.
9:30 a.m. this Monday on Fox 5. But yeah, the breaking news unfortunately caused us. So we got there, our staff there, we ready to go on air. They staff back there doing the makeup, etc. The producer comes out, they like, "Doc, we're gonna have to reschedule. We got breaking news and our reporters running around." So the whole newsroom was crazy. So but they gave me a glimpse of how that world operates. You know what I mean? I learned something new.
Facts. And you learn something new every day. So was that like a life-changing, moment for you, just being on just TV, but a national news media outlet?
Yeah, definitely. I think Monday, once I literally stepped foot on the actual set and really in front of the reporter and doing it, I think it'll hit different. But even just being in the green room, to be, to see their studio and all that, it was a blessing. But I think Monday it's going to hit me a little different.
It's going to wake you up like, yo, I'm really doing something out here. And I love that for you, man, because once again, to reiterate, it shows those little boys, those little girls of color, where we come from, that you can be here exactly the same way I am, you know? Absolutely. And all it does is takes consistency, believe in yourself, invest in yourself, you know? And a lot of us, we struggle with believing in ourselves these days because it's so much fear on the other side that's really that's trying to push you back. Accept what comes with that fear. Fight through it, because in every dark tunnel, it's going to be some light. As long as you keep going toward that light, you're going to get out that dark tunnel. Go ahead.
No, but I was going to say, what you said, that was great. But I wanted to say one more thing. That if I can leave a nugget or leave something for you, definitely invest in yourself, all of that stuff. But you have to stay humble Stay humble. Going up is really going down.
Facts.
You know, and I think a lot of our community, African Americans, we get arrogant so quick. I think we get so, you might touch a glimpse of success, or you know what I mean, and we get arrogant. But humility, the Bible tells about that God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. And so, what people don't understand is when humility is not in your heart, God draws back from you.
Yes.
And nothing you don't want. If anybody, you don't want God to resist
at all.
And and so just going up is really down. Stay humble, definitely stay humble. Walk in humility, walk in brokenness, and watch God exalt you, man. That's definitely. If I can leave that, I notice that's what I'm seeing a lot now. A lot of our people they get a little high-headed too quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even for me, God has opened unbelievable doors. God has opened major platforms, major contracts, but I still get on my knees. I'm still walking humility. I still, I never want that pride to get in my heart, man.
And I love how, like you say, you humble because God gonna give you that first glimpse. Maybe it might be that first check. It might be a nice little big check, and you get to feeling yourself. And when you start to feel yourself, that's when all your problems start really coming at you fast,
Because he resisted.
Exactly.
Because now you don't have he give grace to the humble, but he resists. So when pride getting hot, now you lost your grace.
And this is so crazy. So with you being so successful, was there some friends you had lost along the way?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. That's one of those things where, I think as you elevate and God, take you to new levels.
Yes.
People will begin to shred off. You know what I mean? And and we're still cool. Like if I would see something, what's up, bro? There's no love lost. It's just
I love it.
Everybody can't go with you certain, in certain dimensions and certain realms. Everybody can't go. So, but there's also new levels, new devils. You know what I'm saying? So there's new attacks. There's new, but to answer your question, everybody can't go with you. And it'll be organic. People will fall off. You don't have the same interests anymore. You guys not doing the same things anymore. You're going a new door, and that's not arrogance or trying to be funny. Oh, he got what they call Hollywood. It's not even that, man. It's just certain people come in your life for a reason or a season. So some seasons are up.
Once again, you outgrow people. There's nothing wrong with outgrowing people.
Absolutely.
When you look at flowers, you look at trees. All trees don't grow the same height.
That's
true.
What I'm saying?
That's true. Some grow a little taller than others to the point where you gotta overlook them. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's just how life is. Those who love you unconditionally, who support you unconditionally, will be there with you every step of the way, saying, you know what, just because you're on a higher pedestal than I am, don't mean I'm going to envy you, but I'm going to still support you because at the end of the day, we all started from the same place.
Absolutely.
Which is the bottom, know. So, also, I hear now you also have a children's book coming out.
Yes, was actually already out. Actually. So we did a kids book tour. We went to a few cities. Went to Dallas, Texas. We went to Philly. Went to New Jersey, New York, Richmond, Baltimore. And so we just went to different daycares and schools and shared the book. We did a little program, 2-hour assembly at the schools, which has been great. And so we're actually going back on the tour May 1st. So
May 1st?
If you have a school or your children in a daycare or a school and they're interested in bringing us to their school, they can go to our website and fill out the book tour form as well. So we're doing about, our goal is try to hit about 25 schools this spring. So we're going to go there, bring our program, and our book teaches about, being bully free, career readiness. It talks about, boosting the self-esteem of our youth.
Right.
So it's great. Yeah, it's a really good book.
And what's the name of your book?
It's called Froggy Doodle and Friends Dream Big.
I like that. Yeah, I see you incorporated the clown in the round logo into it as well.
Yeah.
And I love that, once again, because that's something I want to do. Because you see my logo.
Absolutely.
My girl pretty much encouraged me to name. It's called Wise One. You know what I'm saying?
Love that.
I want to do something where I can incorporate or translate it into a book.
Yeah.
Where it could just be about teaching kids just be comfortable with you.
Yeah.
Because you see how nowadays society is different now.
Yeah.
And the main infiltrate. The main way to infiltrate the youth is school.
It's school,
absolutely. You know, so if you can put a book in front of a child's face, it's so much easier for them to learn how to understand who they are. You know, so I'm glad you're doing that. But not only that you're doing that, but you're doing that for the community because. Once again, to reiterate, you're 26, but you showing a little colored boy and that little colored girl that they can do this as well, you know? So now let's switch back to you. How do you maintain just with all that you got going on? How do you maintain your peace?
I'm avid. I work out. That's one of the ways that people say, "Do you work?" I work out sometimes. Maybe 7 days a week. So that's one of my ways that I will call people will call a stress reliever.
Yes.
Get up in the morning, do my workout. I have a dedicated time every day. Not every day, but majority of the time, I try to take an hour out where I just shut everything down. Phone, laptop, iPads. And I just go before the Lord in prayer and just meditate and just, I put on some worship music and I just shut everything down and I'm just just me and God. So that's one of my methods. I work out. I love biking. That's one of the hobbies. I can't wait till the summer to get back on the trails. I would put my music on and I literally would bike the whole DC. I would start, from Georgetown. I would do U Street. I'd go back up to the Wharf. I mean, and literally I'll get up about 8 in the morning, have a cup of coffee, and literally hop on the bike and just bike all day. I'll bring my credit card. I'll stop and get lunch, jump back on the bike. And I'll no work phone, and I would just be enjoying the nature, enjoying the trees, enjoying the people. So those are one of my methods I do. I try to get a trip in at least quarterly, at least 4 times, at least between 3 to 4 times a year. Even if it's not a major trip, I try to get at least, even if I go to New York for a weekend or something, you know what I mean? Drive up there. So I try to do that. So those are some of my methods that I do but of course, my main method would be keep your mind in the Word, keep your mind stayed in prayer, stay fasted up, prayed up, and definitely. But I try to incorporate all of that.
I love it, man. Because once again, when you find yourself having a business, it's so hard to take yourself away from the business and put that me time in for yourself. So the fact that you're able to squeeze that me time in shows me how, even though I'm working, I'm going to get my me time in. I'm going to keep myself sane enough to be at peace. So when I do come back to my bit, I'm giving y'all a whole 100% of me at the best.
Absolutely. Yep.
So let me ask you this now. Like I say, you know what your peace is. So is it hard to keep a social life as far as everything you got going on?
No, not really. I still hang out with friends. I still, do my thing. Now with, certain stuff I don't do anymore, of course, as a believer and all of that stuff. But I still try to make sure I'm still maintaining a good balance. Because you don't want to be, if I'm not good, the business is not good. If I'm not good, the organization, if I'm not good, I can't preach good. So I prioritize me. So, I still try to make sure I carve out time to make sure I'm having a balanced social life. You know what I mean? So I tell people, I go by this motto, sometimes you got to go apart before you fall apart. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Definitely for that entrepreneur that's out there, definitely try to make sure you carve out time to, time to work out, time to have a social life, time for, whatever you want to do, not just business, but I know we do have seasons where, it's grind mode. We all have those moments where it's like, all right, we got to prioritize grinding, but definitely squeeze in that time, even if you just going outside and taking a walk in your neighborhood, or going to the gym for an hour and running on the treadmill, or you going out with friends and going to a restaurant. Carve out that time. That's absolutely I'm glad you brought that up. That's essential. Because when I first started, definitely was imbalanced. I definitely was just work until I got to a point where I got revelation that it's not healthy for me
at all.
It's not healthy for me
at all.
Yeah.
Because we always glorify the person who's working so hard versus the person who has the life balanced down to a point you getting the best of both worlds.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let me ask you this, because we're going to wrap it up in a little while, but what's your future goals with yourself?
Future goals, good question. I was telling someone the other day, I think I want to try living in another city at some point. I don't know what
that's big right now.
I don't know what that looks like right now. I don't know what that looks like verbatim, but I see myself in another city soon. I don't know when. I'm not saying that would be in a year.
Yeah.
That's God, you know, do something different. Or it might be in 2, 3 years. I don't know. But I definitely, since, you know, most people when they go away to college, they get this experience living in another city.
Facts.
Since I didn't go to college, I want to see how it feels to be away from family and just kind of experience that whole. So I wouldn't mind. I would say one of my personal goals right now is to, you know, one of my short-term personal goals is trying to try another city out. You know, trying to see what how my life would be if I, you know, moved to Texas or moved to LA or something. You know, I want to check that out.
And I love how you correlated that with just because you don't go to college don't mean, you know, you can't go put yourself in a new environment and still feel like you're going to college, you know, because that's all college is. You go into a different environment and you adapt into it. So I love how, you know, and I know with God, you know, like I tell people, with God comes faith. With faith, anything is possible. So I see that, you know what I'm saying, that God got you. So, but no matter where you go, you can be good. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Now, with the business, you know, any future businesses or ventures you want to step into?
I do. So now we're going into cartoon development. So that's actually Frog. He's an actual mascot. So
love it.
We're making we're trying to get into like the cartoon animation and, you know, the curriculums and, you know, the toys and all that. So we're trying to dive into that next. So that's some projects that we're working on. And actually, Froggy Dude, he'll be on the news with us on Monday as well. So trying to get into cartoon development.
I love it. You know, and you know, just to bring all this together as far as this conversation, you know, man, like I say, I love that you're young, but I love how mature you are. Yeah. You know, because I'm 31, you 26, and I wish I was this mature at 26 years old. Like, you pretty much, from what I see, you got your life mapped out. You know what you want versus what you don't need. You know, and I love that about you. So for our audience, but not only for the audience, man, for them little black girls and boys who just maybe might see this video, what's a message you can give to them, man?
Keep going. You can do this. And you're going to have challenges. You're going to have bumps in the road. It's not going to always be perfect, but don't stop. You are a finisher. Don't operate in the spirit of almost. Finish it, do it, and you will be surprised how many doors can open, how many, you know, ways God can make for you. Just don't stop. Whatever you're passionate about, whatever you got, you know that God is telling you to do, whatever you got, you know, your niche, do it and don't stop. That's all I can say. And I'm a testimony of a manifestation of if you keep going and you're consistent and you don't stop, God will do amazing things in your life. So don't stop, whoever you are.
I love it. You know, as we conclude this conversation, you know, no matter how rough your days get, no matter how dark your days are, always be the light of your day. Absolutely. My brother, I thank you, man.
Appreciate it,
It was a blessing to have you, man.
Absolutely.